In a recent interview, Steve Stevens shared an intriguing behind-the-scenes story about being approached to join David Lee Roth's band during the 1980s. The guitarist, known for his work with Billy Idol, reflected on the decision not to join Roth, revealing that he didn't want to be perceived as Eddie Van Halen Part 2. When discussing his role in recording Dirty Diana with Michael Jackson, Stevens was asked if he was influenced by Eddie Van Halen's iconic guitar tone, given the similarities to Van Halen's famous track, Beat It. Stevens explained that he didn't consciously try to imitate Eddie's sound, stating, "I didn't focus on Eddie's tone when recording, and I didn't try to imitate any other guitarist." He went on to reveal that David Lee Roth had initially offered him a spot in his solo band, but Stevens was hesitant. "I didn't want to be Eddie Part 2, Stevens admitted. "I think Steve Vai has a strong enough personality and style to make it his own, but I was afraid of falling into that trap." The guitarist further elaborated, saying that although Roth's offer was tempting, he was already deeply committed to his work with Billy Idol, particularly on Whiplash Smile, and didn't want to leave the band behind. Stevens also joked about another reason for his decision, saying, "I was too short, they were all tall." Reflecting on how things might have turned out differently, Stevens explained that by the time he met Roth, he had already played and spent time with Eddie Van Halen, forming a strong friendship. Despite the opportunity, he simply didn't feel he was the right fit for Roth's band. In a 2014 interview with the Double Stop podcast, Stevens expanded on his meeting with Roth. "I met Dave, he came over to my apartment, we went to lunch," Stevens recalled. "I told him, I'm finishing this Idol record, I'm not going to go, and I'm committed to touring afterward." At the time, Roth had Billy Sheehan in his band, and he asked if I had heard of Steve Vai. I said, "He's incredible. He and Billy would be phenomenal together." Stevens ultimately declined Roth's offer, and Vai would go on to join Roth's band, resulting in the legendary lineup that recorded Eat 'Em and Smile. Though Stevens never officially joined Roth's band, he still influenced the sound of Eat 'Em and Smile. Producer Ted Templeman reached out to Stevens for guidance when the band struggled with guitar tones, and Stevens generously sent over his own Marshall gear, which was used on the album. Looking back, Stevens has no regrets about his decision, and his career has continued to thrive in the years since, with his contributions to both Billy Idol's music and his own iconic solo work solidifying his place in rock history.